Yeah, being constantly gaslighted will affect your mental health very, very negatively. So that's why I want you to know the signs. I want you to know the best ways to know you're being gaslighted so you can tell what it is straight away, and then knowing what it is, you can combat it, right? Hello, my lovely. Welcome to ClickSmart. Welcome to ClickSmart, where I discuss all things health, wealth and slay, honey, because a healthy body is simply incomplete without a healthy mind. So I just want to wish everyone a happy new year first and foremost, because when this gets uploaded we will officially be in 2020 and I'm over the moon about that. Normally I would say join me, let's have a cup of tea, sit down and chat, but because it's the new year, I thought, you know what, let's go all out, let's drink some wine in a champagne flute, of course. So cheers, happy new year. I hope your 2020 is way better than your 2019, but not quite as good as your 2021. I will be sipping this while we talk about the infamy of gaslighting. Now, before I get into that, let me define. For me, Emmy, the definition of gaslighting is very simple. It's any deliberate manipulation of your mind, your memory, your feelings, or your emotions. Now, the reason I say deliberate is because the person is doing it on purpose, and I say manipulation because they're trying to control how you feel or how you view or perceive a situation. This can be done by anybody, although most of the time we're used to hearing about gaslighting, especially with regards to the film from which the term is coined. And if you don't know what that film is, I will link it and go and check it out. But with relation to that film, and generally when we think of gaslighting, we do think of it being with relation to a partner, a boyfriend or girlfriend, a husband or wife, some sort of relationship, romantic, intimate partner of some kind. However, I'm here to tell you, anybody can be gaslighting you. Now, I'm here to give you the best ways to know that you are being gaslighted. And if you can, I wouldn't say relate, but if at least 3 of these ring true with you, my friend, Chal, I think you're being gaslighted, and I feel like many of us have been there at some point. Now, the first way to know that you're being gaslighted is that you find yourself second guessing yourself. You find yourself doubting your understanding of events, of a chain of events that happened in the past, or doubting the way you view a person's conduct and behaviour. And because of this doubt, you also become very scared to hold your ground. If you do find when interacting with a certain person that you are certain that things happened X way, but by the time you finish that interaction or that conversation, you are now doubting if you remembered things correctly, if you're right to feel that way, if maybe you've overreacted. That second guessing yourself is one of the ways to know that you are being gaslighted by that individual. The second way to know that you are being gaslighted is when you start to convince yourself that your reaction is unwarranted, it's wrong, it's potentially over the top, you've exaggerated the situation. You start to doubt that your reaction is even sane at times. Although when you speak to a good friend or family member, they may say, oh, well, actually, you're right to feel that way. But in that interaction with that person, by the time they finish gaslighting you, you actually feel like, oh, no, maybe, I'm not right to feel this way about this person's conduct, or maybe actually, I have looked at it wrong. Maybe their point of view is correct. And you start to convince yourself of that based on the interaction with that individual. The third way to know that you are being gaslighted is you're beginning to be confused. You start to feel confused because that person has made you believe that their description of the events or their understanding of the events is correct, and that you've got it wrong. You're not remembering it correctly. I didn't quite say that, or I didn't do that. You're crazy. That's not how it happened. Yeah, you're being gaslighted. If you are certain in yourself that XYZ happened and someone is refuting it, and you may even feel like, why are they lying? When they know that's exactly what they did or what they said or how their actions could be perceived. Yes, my love, you are being gaslighted.
Gaslighting is a form of abuse. Gaslighting is mental abuse. If you are being abused by anybody in this manner, I urge you to distance yourself from this person and refuse to engage in this conduct from them. You deserve better, and if they are your significant other or spouse, you may also want to urge them to seek urgent help from a psychiatric professional.
Now, at this point, I will just say, comment below if you've been gaslighted before. I know I have been, many moons ago, but I have been. And in my next video, I'm definitely going to walk you through steps on how to ensure that you're not gaslighted in the future. Gaslighters are lava, you know. Avoid them. I do not want you to feel you are losing your mind. It's not all in your head. You are not going crazy. 9 times out of 10, in fact, I go as far as to say 99 times out of 100, when you perceive this conduct, especially those first 3 I've just mentioned from somebody, they are trying to gaslight you. You are being gaslighted. Once you know what is being done to you and the tricks of this manipulative person, this manipulator, this deceptive person who's trying to deceive your mind to make you think you're losing it, you're seeing the world all wrong. Once you are able to know and pinpoint and be able to, yep, I'm being gaslighted, or yep, she's trying to gaslight me, he's trying to gaslight me. Once you're able to pinpoint those signs and know it happening straight away, you'll then be able to have the resolve and the tools to be able to combat gaslighting at every turn. Literally, it'll be like gaslighting is lava. You will not touch it. The 4th way to know that you are being gaslighted by an individual is that interactions with them make you feel on edge. You don't feel comfortable when you try to put your point of view across to the individual. You're constantly sort of walking on eggshells. You know, you don't want to say the wrong thing because then it's all going to fall on your head. You're going to be to blame again. And having that happen over and over can and would, of course, naturally make you feel on edge. So if you constantly feel on edge when you're about to have certain interactions with an individual, or you want to discuss something pertinent and you know, like, you have this feeling, this foreboding inside you, you're going to feel on edge through the conversation. Yep, 99 times out of 100, my love, that person is gaslighting you, and they've probably been doing it for a while and maybe you didn't realize. And that's the reason I'm making this video, because on ClickSmart, you know, I really want to talk about better health. And for me, a healthy body is simply incomplete without a healthy mind. You need your mind to be right, and being gaslighted, your mind will not be right, especially if that person's in close proximity to you on a regular basis. So potentially they work with you, or they live with you, they're a family member, they're a lover. Yeah, being constantly gaslighted will affect your mental health very, very negatively. So that's why I want you to know the signs. I want you to know the best ways to know you're being gaslighted, so you can tell what it is straight away, and then knowing what it is, you can combat it, right? Because you can't fight an illness if you don't know what the illness is. I think a lot of people have been there, but they didn't know quite what it was. They didn't realize, wow, I'm being gaslighted. But don't worry, your girl's got you, because I want you to have that solid mental health. And you know, things like gaslighting are so detrimental, and they happen a lot. Now, the 5th way to know that you're being gaslighted and potentially have been gaslighted by an individual is that you feel the need to apologise often, even when you know inside you that you're right. So, you know, you've had a disagreement with this individual, and you've said, oh, you know, this happened and this happened, you know, and I didn't think that that was very kind, or I didn't quite appreciate that conduct. That wasn't cool to me. And by the end of that conversation, after they've gaslit you for an hour, half an hour, 15 minutes, you're like, you know what, you're right, I'm really sorry. Actually, yeah, I shouldn't have reacted that way. By the end of it, they want you to believe that you're somehow culpable for their choices and their actions, and that you could have prevented it if you did X, if you did Y, if you did Z. No, my love, you are being gaslit. The fact that you feel to apologise often to an individual, even when you know sort of in you, like, I don't feel like I'm wrong on this one. I don't feel like I did anything wrong on this one, but you still apologise, because they have gaslit you to the point where you're a furnace for them. So your apologies are coming out fast and quick and thick, even when you're not at fault. My love, you are being gaslit. It's a tactic that's used by abusers, but it's also used, you know, used by family and so-called friends. And this is my 6th way to know that you're being gaslit. In interactions with that individual, you can't express your emotions freely. You feel restricted in the way that you can express annoyance or hurt or, you know, frustration. If you find that you can't express emotions to this person, i.e. you can't just say, look, what you did really hurt me, and I don't really find it acceptable, and you know, you should apologise because that was out of order. And you can't express that because you feel like if you even say that, you're going to be shut down. It's going to be twisted around to you. You're going to be the bad guy all of a sudden. You know, you don't feel free to express your wants, your desires to that individual. You don't feel free to express things that are not acceptable, things that have hurt you. It's like whenever you want to express your emotions, it's like you choke kind of, because you know a foreboding comes over you of what's going to happen next. Because of that, interactions with the person are stressful to you because you're not able to express your emotions freely or in a safe space. If you're not able to do that with the person without them getting upset and reversing it back onto you, and you can't just simply express those emotions to that individual, yes, my love, you are being gaslit. And you know, this is something that, you know, happens to many people, so it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's happened, I think, probably to most people at some point, and they just didn't quite realize that they were being gaslit, you know, that they were being made to believe or to feel that what they thought or what they felt wasn't valid. In fact, it was crazy. They were making it up. It didn't happen that way. It's all in your head. I'm here to tell you it's not. Tell them Emmy at ClickSmart said it. They're gaslighting you. It's not all in your head. If there is a persistent pattern of behavior that covers these first 6 things that I've mentioned, I promise you, you are being gaslit. If you even hit 3 out of the ones I've mentioned so far, you are being gaslit. Now, for the final one, number 7. One of the best ways to know you are being gaslit is your intuition. You just don't feel right about that person. When you're interacting with them, you're feeling like, nah, you're not really accepting my views, you're not really accepting what I'm saying. You constantly have a barrier to anything I'm saying, and that barrier is to deflect everything back to me, right? It's like you feel uneasy whenever you're interacting with the person because you know that they're not really being holistically genuine with you. Your intuition, your gut feeling is that this person is kind of deceiving you somehow. They're trying to manipulate you. That's what they're doing. That's gaslighting. That's exactly what they're doing. The fact you've even Googled this and searched this on YouTube, watched this video, and 3 at least have resonated with you, you should know this is confirmation from the universe that you are being gaslit. And listen, I always say this, and it's the absolute truth. Your gut is rarely wrong. Very, very rarely. If that person, your intuition, your gut instinct is off every time you're doing that, nah, doesn't feel quite right, and you go back and when you replay the conversations you've had or the interaction in your head, and you're like, didn't feel quite right, and how come he made it seem like it's my fault, she made it seem like it's my fault, and she's actually the person who did X, Y, Z, or he said X, Y, yeah. You're being gaslit. It's a form of manipulation, and listen, it's nothing to be ashamed of. We only know how to do better when we know better. I didn't know better then. I didn't know what gaslighting was, so I just accepted it. But now I know. In next week's video, I'm going to continue this series on gaslighting, and I'm going to tell you how to overcome it, how to stop it in its tracks whenever you see it. And I promise, if you follow my steps, you will never be gaslit again. You know now from this video exactly how to spot it. And next week, you're going to know exactly how to overcome it and to fight through it, because you don't have to tolerate it. You're not going mad. It's not all in your head, okay? Tell them Emmy at ClickSmart said it. Thank you for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Share it with someone who you know would actually benefit from watching this content. And don't forget to comment below. I'd really love to hear from you if you have been gaslit in the past, or, you know, how you cope when people try to make you feel like, you know, you're not remembering the events the way you know they happened. I will say that to round this video off. If someone is gaslighting you, you need to run. You need to get out of that situation. They do not love you. They do not care about you. They want to destroy your mental health by manipulating you. Hope you'll come back next week to watch the next video on how you can combat those gaslighters, like Jackie Chan those gaslighters. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, share it, and drop me a comment below. Thank you for watching. I've been Emmy, and this is ClickSmart. You're smart. You clicked. Thank you. Do you think we can avoid that in 2020 by knowing exactly what it is? You can't avoid what you don't know. And I lost the name. If you made it this far, I think you're feeling my vibe, and you know, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Let's do a quick nail cam. I haven't done this before, but it's new year and it's new nails. I did these myself. I don't know if you can quite see them clearly enough. Yeah, Happy New Year to you. Cheers, darling. Cheers to 2020.